What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. Just to give you a quick warning before you start listening, there is some colorful language used throughout the show, so hide the kids and enjoy. Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. This is the show where a bunch of guys get together at the bar talking sports. That's why it's called Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, right? Agreed. You hear some echo in the background, that's only because we're at a bar, so that gives it the natural sound, doesn't it?
True aesthetics.
I never even thought about saying it like that. True aesthetics. Holy cow, that's amazing. Okay. That's the way I'm gonna describe it to people when they ask me about the show, okay?
Okay.
There's been a lot of craziness going on just in general in sports lately, right? But I did want to bring one thing up first, and that's this. I'm an addict when it comes to TikTok. Yes, you are. Right now. And I've been doing these stupid, crazy TikTok videos, and one of them got 23,000 views so far. 23,000 views.
That's crazy.
Cheeks.
That's crazy.
Wait, I feel like I've seen your face more than I've seen my wife's.
Hey. and the
In fact, I think he's messaged me more than my wife has this week too.
I think.
Did he kiss you goodnight as often?
Sometimes I do get a good night. Do your work. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, man. Hey, so we got this man over here, TC, and he just threw me on it, and I don't know, I'm an addict, but it's because I'm a creative person, so it brings out the creative side on me, and it gets my juices flowing,
You do a great job.
Thank you.
The one today was my favorite.
That was a good one.
I literally laughed out loud. I was reading it at work.
Clemson,
Oh, yeah.
the cupcake schedule one. That's a good one. You gotta watch it, so go ahead and check it out. We are on it's Guys at the Bar Talking Sport, because they wouldn't let me go with the S, so it's Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, not Sports, if you want to check it out. So anyway, that's the advertisement for the TikTok, whatever. We'll move on from there. Let's get some introductions going, okay? So to my right, we got Brookie DC.
What is happening? And I am drinking. I've transitioned to the fall beers, guys. I know it's August, but
No, you're supposed to be drinking Mandarin Orange
not
Creamsicle
tonight.
Lemonade.
We've got the old Samuel Adams Oktoberfest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Hey, cheers to that.
Cheers.
And it's only 100 degrees out today.
Only 100 degrees.
Only.
I'm okay with it. Well, it's actually 89, but it feels like 98 because we live in the armpit of the United States.
It is really freaking hot.
Or the right thigh, the left thigh, whatever you want to call it.
It's disgusting.
It is, man.
I can't wait for September and October when it starts to cool down a little bit. All right, so we have a returning.
December?
When? Oh, I don't know. Florida was like that when I lived there. It was November is when it starts to cool down a little bit, and then it starts to heat back up in like the end of February. So South Carolina's a little bit better than that. You get 1 month on either side. So we renewed the contract with Cheeks herself. She came back for one more show. She might be back for more. You never know. Fan favorite. So go ahead and tell us what you're drinking, Cheeks.
I also transitioned because they don't put pumpkin spice in the beer yet. I'm drinking Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. Nice. Okay. Going hardcore.
Following in my footsteps.
Yep.
I think that she's trying to take notes. She's trying to learn from you, Brookie DC.
Okay, I like it.
We got my man over here, the Chief. And I don't know that you had an alcohol to your drink this week.
It's the same drink I've had for the last 2 years. I just added ice.
It's amazing. So what is it?
It's ginger lime.
Ginger lime. And this is your boy, Hanger. And I'm drinking a gigantic Bud Light that I won, by the way.
That is the biggest Bud Light ever.
A gigantic water beer is what he's drinking.
For those that can't see this because
It's like making love in a canoe.
It is.
Are you guys making fun of me?
Yep.
You have your snow shovel with you too, so you can shovel out the water?
It's a big old Bud Light.
It is a big Bud Light.
Would you like a straw?
Listen, if you're gonna drink a light beer, a non-manly light beer, you might as well drink a lot of it, right?
Might as well.
Yeah. So tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about preseason football, NFL, only because last weekend was NFL football or preseason NFL. And the thing that I like about preseason football specifically is that you get to see the guys that are
You never get to see.
the guys you never get to see, but the newbies as well, right?
Right, yeah.
You got all these new guys that just got drafted, like Mac Jones, for example. You got tons of great talent out there that came from the college world, especially that those top draft picks, right? And you want to see what they're doing.
And some of them made it through week 1 and some didn't.
So,
Or made it through
Well, I think
week
it's
2.
interesting. I think your biggest thing you're looking at right now are quarterbacks, and specifically Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Zach Wilson, right? That's the 4 that are in the
Cam Newton, sort of.
Cam Newton's old news, in my opinion. I think
I'm just saying they haven't made a decision.
I think they'll start Cam Newton, but I think Mac Jones takes over by at the latest week 5. That's
you think
my
okay.
that's my
I think
prediction.
sooner, but
It could be sooner. It very well could be. It all just depends on if he's productive, in my opinion.
You got Cam Newton in 23 minutes.
yes.
So in that game between the New England Patriots and Washington football team, they're going to change their name to something at some point. But Mac Jones was 13 for 19. So I mean that's pretty good. That's
How much
pretty
did
consistent.
he play, though? Play like 2 quarters? 3 quarters? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure he
something
played a lot
like
of
that.
the
I didn't
game.
get to watch the whole game, but I did watch some of the highlights of that stuff.
That's a lot of throws.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's a lot less rushing, a lot more passing.
Yeah, and he's not a quarterback that's going to rush that much. You know, he's not going to run around with the ball and stuff. So it's just I think that he might end up being the
I'll still
quarterback.
keep my prediction and what I said all along. He was the steal of the draft, along with one other player that I'm going to bring up in a second, who's another steal. But he was the steal of the draft, and he will end up being the starter in New England and should have a good career because he can grow. The other steal of the draft is from my favorite football team. The Kansas City Chiefs drafted Trey Smith in the 6th or 7th round this year. He's starting on their offensive line.
Wow.
Tell me how many times a team can draft a lineman in the 6th or 7th round and start him on their offensive line same year. There you
He's
go.
going to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
And he's got an amazing team around him too.
Does.
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, all of the analysts are saying that Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl this year.
Chiefs look strong. Their defense looks better. I mean, they have arguably the top safety in the game out of Mathau. Is that how you say his last name, Mathau?
I think so. Yeah.
The Honey Badger. Everybody knows him by the Honey Badger. They put some money into their defense. We know what they can do offensively. I mean, they've got a really strong core between Mahomes, Kelsey. He's got 8 different receivers he can throw to, but obviously we know Tyreek Hill can outrun anybody in the NFL. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs absolutely have a great chance to go straight back to the Super Bowl. But so does Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay returns everybody.
And that
They're
was
all
exactly-
old. They all have gray beards, but they're coming back.
I actually think that is if you're looking at percentages of likelihood, Tampa Bay Chiefs is a likely matchup. Now,
You think so? Okay.
I'm not saying it will happen. What I'm saying is when we get down to the playoffs, I expect both of them to be in the playoffs, and I expect them both to move up and possibly get to the Super Bowl against each other.
Yeah, neither team is a wild card this year for sure. It wasn't Tampa Bay was a wild card last season.
Tampa Bay's a wild card. And then you have other teams you have to think about. I mean, Green Bay's going to be strong, I think. Aaron Rodgers has something to prove this year.
Yep.
The Rams have the best defense in the league, so they're going to be something to contend with. Andy Dalton is obviously going to try to bring the Bears into the mix. I'm waiting for laughter there. I'm just kidding.
Okay, the Ravens are supposed to
I'm
be.
laughing inside.
The Ravens are supposed to be looking pretty good too.
Ravens are supposed to be solid again, but have they put anything in that nucleus to help their quarterback? They don't have any. They don't have a one receiver. They have probably top 3 tight end of Mark Andrews, who also, by the way, got taken by ambulance to the hospital today. Dehydrated, passed out. I think he passed out at practice. So yeah, I think if they're gonna be a contender, they've got to put some more money into their offense, in my opinion. Kind of like the Bills did when they went out and got Stephon Diggs. They added a one
Now,
receiver.
the Bills are probably going to be a
Bills are going to be
powerhouse
solid.
this year.
Yeah.
This
The-
might be their year.
The Bills always have a great defense, but now they have offensive weapons. They're
Yeah.
dangerous.
And everyone thought they were going to the Super Bowl last year.
And you can't knock out the Titans. The Titans are solid right now. Fantastic offense.
Speaking of which, Titans and Bucks had 2-day joint practice. Today was day 2. This afternoon, Antonio Brown, who plays for the Bucks, he got kicked out of practice for ripping off Chris Brown's helmet. Chris Brown plays for the Titans. And they started throwing punches. This was not the first or last altercation of the day. It was just this was the marquee matchup. They had 4 altercations today at practice, like going to blows.
Wow. And apparently the fight between Antonio Brown and you said Chris Brown?
I said Chris Brown. I bet you I got it. It's not.
Either way, they show the pictures and it goes like snap, 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 helmets off, and Antonio Brown lands a left, and I mean it is the full fist to the cheek. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why it made the news.
Lit him up.
Yeah, I mean he hit him hard in the face.
But to my understanding, this was all Antonio Brown's fault per the media. What they're saying on ESPN.
Well, they were
and
saying
they kicked him out of practice.
They were
So
saying they were saying that Bucks players were pulling Antonio Brown off of him.
I mean, as we've all known, Antonio Brown is obviously very vocal.
Yeah.
He's a little yappy feller, let's say it that way. And I think that he's always in the middle of some kind of mischief, let's say it that way.
Well, then it makes sense.
I know.
Don't we call that a shitster?
I know Lip Ripper's not here, but he's a big Browns fan. What about
The Ripper
Browns?
himself is missing today.
Yeah.
He's MIA.
But that brings up a good example right there. Is we're talking about the Ravens being a contender. Look at the division they're in.
Yeah, but
It's a powder puff. It's a cupcake.
Who's the division? With
and that's why they should definitely be in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Yes,
Pittsburgh,
and the
Cleveland,
Bengals.
Cincinnati.
But you got to think though, Cleveland is not a kickover team anymore. What they win? 7-8 games last year.
Oh, we got some Cleveland fans in there.
The Bengals are terrible, but they're putting money into their offense.
Well,
so
they got Joe Burrow.
They got Joe Burrow, and they drafted a really good receiver this year, didn't they? I forget the guy's name. And they also have T. Higgins. They finally got rid of A.J. Green, who had been there for years and he just kept getting injured. So you got to give them props for trying. But I think Cincinnati's problem has always been the fact that they don't have an offensive line. And they're going to get Burrow killed, and they got him killed last year. So you got to hope he doesn't get killed this year.
That poor guy, man. That poor guy.
So let's talk about each division. Who's the leader? Who's the likely leader in each division?
All right, you can start out with the AFC East.
We got Patriots, Jets, Bills, and Dolphins.
Bills.
Bills for sure, yeah.
I agree.
Definitely the Bills. I agree.
Patriots are not going to have a year this year.
Not this year.
Not this year. They're building.
AFC North.
This is who we just talked about:
Right.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
I think
Cincy.
Pittsburgh or the Ravens will come out of that.
They're both good, yeah. Ravens will.
I think Browns.
The Browns could. I mean, again, that's kind of a toss-up situation in my opinion.
I agree. AFC South. Titans, Texans, Colts, and Jaguars.
Titans by a long shot, in my opinion.
No, it's definitely not the Jaguars since they cut Tebow.
Hey.
I actually think that. Well, I don't think the
You think they're gonna
Jags
go
are going to
from-
win the division. I think they're probably number 2.
They've
You think so?
They've got to play better. I mean,
I don't know,
we
yeah.
know the Colts are in disarray right now. We know Houston, Deshaun Watson, you can't trust him. There's just so many
Is he
things.
even going to be there?
Well, he's there. He's just vocal and being a crybaby as always.
Right, but is he going to continue to be there? Do you think that?
He's not, right now they have him as their starter.
I expected more out of Deshaun Watson for sure. But
I'm disappointed in him.
he seemed like a mature guy, and he doesn't seem like it in the NFL. Maybe that money gets to his head. Who knows?
Well, or maybe he had somebody, telling him what to do 24/7 until he got to the NFL, and now he's acting out like a 16-year-old.
He just needs to slow down on his massage. What do we got next?
They do
AFC
say
West. Sorry.
they do say when these guys go to the NFL, it changes their mindset because it's a different world in college where you're saying coach, and in NFL they refer to their coach as their person's name.
Yeah.
So it's a different culture within the NFL versus within college. So.
That's true. So
AFC West,
is easy.
Chiefs,
Broncos,
Chiefs.
Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs.
Chiefs.
All right, so
obviously,
who's
yeah.
number 2 there?
Broncos, actually, I think.
You think Broncos?
I'll go with the Raiders.
I was going to go Raiders too.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders.
They look like they might have a
Yeah,
good team
and
this
they've
year.
got a beautiful new stadium that looks like a giant.
And you got to be vaccinated to get in.
Oh,
Nobody's going to go watch
No
them
one's
play.
gonna
There ain't
go
nobody
watch.
vaccinated in Vegas. What's next?
right. Then you've got the NFC East, the Giants, Eagles, the football team, and the Cowboys.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm with Cheeks.
Does anybody come out of that one? I don't.
Nobody, yeah. I think nobody wins that
I think
division.
if you had to pick somebody, it's down between personally probably the Cowboys and the Giants. That's just me. Jalen Hurts has got to show me something.
I'm thinking Eagles and Giants.
Yeah.
I think Dak Prescott comes out to try to prove something this year since he got hurt last year. If he gets on the field,
If he gets on the field, that's the biggest question right
I think
now.
in general,
And if he doesn't get on until week 5, week 6, it might be too late for him.
run the ball.
I think we're looking at a situation where there ain't crap in that division. So
No,
let's
remember
move on
when
to
they
the
were
next
so
one.
dominant? That was
Yeah.
such a good division.
There was a
Anymore.
time.
Right. NFC North, the Bears, the Lions.
No Bears.
Still Bears. The Packers, and the
Packers.
Vikings.
Packers all the way.
I think the Packers come out, but I do think the Vikings will fight for that though. The Vikings aren't bad.
No, I agree. NFC South is the Saints, the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Falcons.
I'm going with the Buccaneers just
I'm
because
going with the
they're
Buccaneers too.
just because of Tom Brady. You can never say anything bad about that guy.
You have no quarterback situation in New Orleans right now. Carolina's rebuilding.
What about the Falcons?
Falcons need to get rid of Matt Ryan and move on. Until they switch their quarterback situation, they are not going to be any good. And they need to quit playing running back roulette. Every year they trade for a different running back. Just move on.
Agree. Okay, the last division is NFC West, Cardinals, 49ers, Rams, and Seahawks.
Well, that is a tough division to pick one there.
Rams or Seahawks for me.
I would say the Rams.
So the only reason I'm not going to say the Rams is because you can't trust Matt Stafford. That's one.
Okay.
I like Seattle because you've got the same nucleus of offense there with Russell Wilson, but you also got to think with the 49ers, are they going to roll the dice this year and start Trey Lance by week 3 when Garoppolo gets hurt? And then Arizona, I mean, we know they have a quarterback, and they have a decent offense, and didn't they trade for a decent running back this year? They got rid of Drake and moved somebody else. So, I mean, that's a toss-up league to me.
What happened to the 49ers, man? They're just
I know.
They were injury-prone last year. Everybody got hurt, but they got a lot of their people back. So I think 49ers will surprise us this year.
I think the Cardinals last year were doing really well, and they fizzled out. It's like they got tired by the end of November.
it's insane.
I think it'll be interesting to regroup on exactly the same topic like week 4.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That would be interesting. So I wanted to bring this up, and I know it's way too early to do a Super Bowl pick, but I did mine, and I don't know if you guys did yours, but I think that it would be interesting to do it now to say, who is your Super Bowl pick, Chief?
The Chiefs, and not because of the name, but
Yeah.
because I really think Patrick Mahomes this year, after getting humbled last year,
Humbled. He needed it.
and that team is a gelled team.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's not, outside of Mahomes, I can't really think of 4 other people who are like major superstars.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at some of the other teams and they've got 2 or 3 people that drive the whole team. Kansas City played, even losing in the Super Bowl, they played like a team.
But what happens? What happens if they hit a defense again, like what Tampa Bay did to them? Like they just picked that offense apart. Can Mahomes play under pressure like that? Because last season, I don't think he did.
I think that's what they probably worked on all offseason.
Who are they playing in the Super Bowl?
My pick is still probably Tampa Bay.
Okay, gotcha.
That sounds really good, but I'm picking Tampa Bay to go all the way, begrudgingly, because I hate the Patriots and I'm not a fan of Tom, but he's a respectable guy, so I'm going to go with him. And I'm having a hard time coming up with the other one, but I think I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Okay, interesting. Rookie DC, what do you think?
It's hard for me to pick 2, but I'm just going to throw three names out there, and that's Kansas City, Tennessee Titans, Green Bay Packers. That's
Actually, those are.
out of those
I
3
think
teams, I see all 3 of them potentially in the Super Bowl.
I see Green Bay with a lot of potential. I mean, they made it 1 game away from the Super Bowl last year. Aaron Rodgers, this is it.
This is it.
Oh, yeah.
He's done. This is his last season playing.
They're trying to bring back all of their old team that went to the Super Bowl and won it. They want Clay Matthews back, even though he's old for a linebacker. They got Randall Cobb back. So he's trying to build that. And we know what Tennessee can do. And Tennessee added a number 2 receiver to go along with A.J. Brown this year. You got Julio Jones has went there. So, I mean, Tennessee's going to be a dangerous football team. No matter how you want to look it up, because their defense is a lot of people you don't know, but I'll tell you what makes them dangerous, Mike Vrabel. He's a defensive-minded coach that learned everything from Belichick, and let's be real, he's a good coach. So I think the Titans are dangerous.
So I had the Baltimore Ravens versus the Green Bay Packers. Packeneers. Did I say Packeneers?
You did
Green
say
Bay
The Buccaneers.
They should actually the Washington Packeneers. See that?
Or the Sentinels.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the Sentinels. I love the Sentinels.
Yeah. So I had the Baltimore Ravens versus Green Bay Packers, and the only reason is Lamar Jackson is good, right?
Yeah.
I think they have a good team around him. I just don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go out without a fight, and I think that this is his year to do it again. You know?
I think so.
I really do. And they, like you said, they almost made the Super Bowl last year, and I don't think that. I think they're going to regroup and figure it out and get themselves in. You know, work their tails off. They're definitely going to win their division. They'll do well in the playoffs. So
I
that's
think
my
he's
thought.
distracted in his personal life, and I don't think it's going to happen.
I think he's also.
He's in Hollywood. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think we can also throw the Bills in the conversation. Those 4 teams, the Bills as well, mine, and we'll see where the dust settles. We'll have to come back and listen to this episode and
Yeah.
fact check ourselves.
Yeah, well, let's talk
And
again
then
on
be
week
embarrassed.
4.
So let's move on to the biggest game of the week, and that was Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
And who did they play?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, so the biggest game of the week, obviously, because all eyes were on Tebow. All eyes were on Travis Etienne. All eyes were on
Trevor Lawrence.
on Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I think that those 3 people had the highest expectations for the week.
Yeah.
Is what it really came
Yep.
down to.
Yeah, well, Tebow's easy. We know where that went.
He's gone. So where is it going
I
to be?
called that, by the way, last week. If you
Yes, you
were
did.
in the
You
conversation.
called it.
And I think everybody else is like, no, they're going to go with the money and they're going to sell jerseys and all
They
that.
will
crap.
That's what I
They
thought.
cannot keep a 5th string tight end on a football team. You can't do it. Tebow is
know.
too old to come in and convert to a new position. It can't happen. So you know what? He got cut just in time to get back to the SEC analyst desk.
He had his contract. He had his contract already written out for the SEC network for
And
sure.
I'll say this now: Tebow's athletic career is done. There's nothing else he can do to come back from this.
Golf.
No,
Table tennis.
Table tennis.
not going to happen. He's
Rock
I
not
said
Right.
curling. I
He
said
is
curling.
going to be an
Curling.
analyst, and then he'll eventually probably have his own church where he's nationally televised.
Do you think that he should go into coaching? I mean, the guy is like a motivated.
He's a motivation. That's why he'll be the
I
next
think
Joel
he's a
Osteen.
statistic.
That's what he. I can
Joel
see-
Osteen?
Or Joel Osteen. Or
Joel
what's the guy
Osteen. Oh, wow.
in Charlotte? Stephen Furtick. Yeah, that could be Tim Tebow next.
Or Bobby Bowden.
The Tim Tebow Church of the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah.
It's very possible.
You think so?
Or
Doesn't
he's
get
just an
together on
analyst. and-
Sundays because you have to watch football.
They could gather on Friday. You know?
At the end of the day,
Like
he's probably going to be an
Jewish people
analyst.
gather on Friday.
Right.
Church is in the morning. Football is after lunch.
Depends on which zone you're in. Here in
Maybe.
California, you're in trouble.
Maybe he does church during halftime.
He just does it all virtually.
There you go.
That works out.
The Timmy Tebow Church of the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah.
So I will say on the one thing about Jacksonville is the one thing Trevor Lawrence is always going to remember in his first preseason game on his very first snap, he got sacked.
There you go.
So,
That sucks.
so Trevor Lawrence went 6 for 9, got 71
And
yards,
sacked what?
sacked twice, fumbled once but recovered. That was, I think that was Trevor Lawrence's worst appearance
Since his first game of high school?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably before high
You
school.
realize he had never. This was his first loss since first game of high school.
Well, that's probably going to be his first loss at the beginning of the season when it starts like that, too, because I don't see Jacksonville having a great year. I just don't see it.
Well, they got Travis Etienne. Now I'm talking about going forward now, and they got Trevor.
Yeah,
And they-
so Travis Etienne had 1 carry for 2 yards.
And he's third string. Like, they're starting, who is this? Is it Cam Akers? Is that who's starting Jacksonville?
I think that was it,
I think
yeah.
that's the name. So, yeah, I don't know how much Etienne's going to play. And then we don't really have any. The only receiver he realistically has is Chark, right? DJ Chark. I don't. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be a rough year for Trevor Lawrence.
Is Trevor Lawrence, is he going to be the starting quarterback for 100%?
I don't know. I mean,
They said Minshew might be.
Minshew can play football. We know that.
He had a better game.
But Minshew is a backup quarterback, as we know as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if Lawrence ends up being the starter, I think Minshew goes to his agent and wants out of Jacksonville by the end of the year.
Does Urban Meyer put together a winning season this season
No,
with Jacksonville?
absolutely not.
You don't think they'll go 8-8?
Rebuilding.
I don't think they'll go in 8. I think, again, they're
I
going to
think
lose.
that'd be the best they do is 8-8.
We know they're going to lose 2 to Tennessee. Easy. I think they're going to struggle with. I think they're going to struggle with easy teams in their division, and their other non-divisional games are going to be rough, in my opinion.
Are the fans even going to show up to watch the games?
For the first couple weeks,
Yeah, I'm going to say the first 3 games might be really tough on
everybody
them.
has
Who
optimism.
are they playing?
First 3 games are
Jacksonville
the Texans,
and
the
Tampa Bay,
Broncos,
the
the Texans, the Broncos, and the Cards.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Are they at
they're
home
happy.
or where are they playing at?
Does
it say?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm not on the schedule.
Just so y'all know, Beth, did I just say your name? Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
You did.
I'll try to edit that out. Sheeks over here is our person that does the back room to try to figure out what the stats are and stuff like that,
Statistician.
She's a statistician in our group, yeah.
Well, it looks like from the end of October through the end of November, they're going to have their asses handed to them.
Okay.
Because we go from the Bills to the Colts to the 49ers to the Falcons.
Wow, that's going to be rough.
they'd be
Yeah.
lucky if they put 1 win out of those 4.
Yep.
So they're going to have a bad season then, Chief.
Yeah, I'm saying if they go 8-8, that's the best they'll do,
Yeah.
and that should be if they go 8-8, they should consider that a total victory season.
I'm kind of skeptical about a college quarterback going into the NFL anyway. It's not the norm, and when it does happen, usually they don't do well, and they end up back in college football anyway. In general, that's the way I feel about it. But I might be looking at it the wrong way. I don't know. What
Well,
do you think?
a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of the great quarterbacks were great college quarterbacks first. But that doesn't mean their first season in the NFL or their first 2 seasons in the NFL were great seasons.
Oh no, I'm meaning coaches. Did I say quarterbacks?
Quarterback.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant coaches. I think like Urban Meyer going from being a college coach to being a NFL coach, I don't know that goes over too well. It's a different game. There's like little minute things like in the NFL, the lineman could go 1 yard forward, and in the college they could go 3 yards forward, and that makes it so that you can open up the line way more in college, so you get more running and more passing going. So there's little minute things.
Like
that-
Lane Kiffin?
I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a coach who went successful college, then went to the NFL, and was really successful in the NFL. But a lot of them have come back and been successful again.
Well, I know Spurrier, for example, went from the Gators. He left the Gators and went to coach the Washington Redskins. Oh my gosh, did I just say that?
Well, that was their name then.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he moved back and he went to coach at
And he
Carolina.
wasn't great at Washington.
No, because what he did is he did what Urban Meyer did, and he tried to bring some of his players. Like he brought, who was the Heisman Trophy winner when Florida won the national championship in 1996? It was, can't think of it. But anyway, he brought, Danny Werfel. So he went and got Danny Werfel from New Orleans to bring him to the Washington Redskins to play for him. So I think they have these little things like Urban Meyer bringing Timmy Tebow over to play with them. Like they have these little things that they're trying to do to make their team what it was somewhere else. Is what it comes down to.
But it can't happen.
Yep.
Can't happen. It's a different game. So who knows what Urban Meyer? But Urban Meyer's a great talent. He's a great mind, right? So we'll see.
That was a good segue into college ball.
But hold on, we just got the man himself, the man of wisdom himself, G Boogie, just popped up.
What's up? G Boogie in the house.
I'm loving your glasses holder.
Yeah, no, I had to create that. You like that?
I do, yeah, that is amazing, man. He can't move his neck, but I won't say why, He's been drinking too many beers.
So, are we talking about the Rhode Island School of Design? tonight.
What is
Go
their?
Nads.
What is the
Go
Gonads?
Nads! Come on.
The Gonads. That is the best. That is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is that not hilarious?
That was absolutely hilarious. On one of our Facebook posts in the Facebook group, which you need to join in, by the way, G Boogie himself he's a big fan of the Rhode Island School of whatever it
School
is,
of Design.
the Nads.
What do they call that in Wedding Crashers? RISD, right?
Sprody is their Scrody or Scrotum? I don't know.
Scrody, yeah, I think that's what it was, yeah. Did you go to school there?
No.
Oh, God, okay. I thought you went to school there or something. Okay. What are you drinking, G Boogie?
Bud Light tonight.
All right, good job,
Taking
man.
it easy.
Twins.
So I don't know that we have you under contract yet, but I mean, you're allowed to be on the show, okay?
I'm just listening. I'm just here listening to the words of wisdom from this significant group of people.
You're the man with the wisdom, G Boogie. You're the
I don't
man with
think
the wisdom. So let's move on to college football. Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So
I do like how when as soon as you said Cleveland, Joyce's ears perked up. She said, "Ooh."
oh yeah. So we had some Cleveland fans in the house, and as soon as we said Cleveland, one of them looked over to us. So
Yeah, she was like, "Oh no." I think she corrected.
I think she was gonna try to get on the show.
corrected somebody.
That's what she was like. I'm gonna come over there and beat their butts for saying something bad about them. So what's going on in the college football world there, Chief?
So I was looking around at some statistics the last couple of days, some interesting statistics. Notre Dame plays 4 preseason top 4 teams that are the top 13 in the preseason polls.
What teams are they? Did you see?
Wisconsin, Cincinnati, North Carolina, and USC are the four. But here's the interesting thing: they have 5 opponents during the season that are coming off a bye week. So you got 12 games.
Okay.
5 of the 12 games they're playing somebody coming off a bye. Nobody else has that many.
So do you know what their strength of schedule was? Because I didn't see them in the top 10, like 10 or 15 teams for the strength of schedule. But
No.
then again, being independent,
Right.
they are playing some random teams. But playing Cincinnati, I mean, that's a good game for them to play.
Well,
Wisconsin, same thing, you know.
Well, and then speaking of teams that are on the move, Oklahoma coming to the SEC here in a couple of seasons, but they're whining about playing Nebraska at 11 a.m. at home because of TV. They're on the big noon kickoff game that weekend,
At 11 a.m.
but it's 11 a.m. Central, so they're upset about that.
Why would they be upset about that? Are they scared to play Nebraska?
They just don't want to play at 11 a.m.
Nebraska's. I think that Nebraska's gonna have a decent season this year, but I don't know if they're gonna beat Oklahoma.
Well, Nebraska. I think they could be strong, and I think Oklahoma with their 11 a.m. start. You know, if their players are a little hungover, this might be a different game.
Bill
But
Willis voice is shaking.
speaking of whining, Stanford, they're whining because they have to play K-State at 11 a.m. in Arlington, Texas. And that same weekend, Oregon is playing OSU at noon in Columbus. So you got Stanford, California team, Oregon, West Coast, 2 West Coast teams, and they're effectively playing 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern the same weekend. And they're a little upset about these early starts, too.
So the big games of the week, though, I got those listed somewhere, and the first one obviously is Georgia versus Clemson, right?
Yep.
So
And
if we're
Miami,
looking at-
Alabama.
So if we're looking at Georgia versus Clemson, who wins that game?
Well, I'm biased, so I have to say Clemson.
Oh, you're paying them a lot of money
I
lately.
am spending a fortune.
And it's not for hookers. It's actually something legit. So yeah,
It's for tuition.
I mean So you better be a fan.
But-
So are you going to stop wearing a North Carolina shirt and start wearing some Clemson gear?
I mix it up. When you I've spent more money already at Clemson than I ever spent for my degree at North Carolina.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you this: does Clemson beat North Carolina this year?
I think they will,
Okay.
but I'm not excited about it. I think last year's North Carolina team, other than we've got Sam Howell coming back, was pretty strong.
Rookie DC, Alabama or the U?
Alabama.
Oh, easy.
Alabama.
Why? You don't think Miami has a chance?
I think Miami will play good in the first quarter. I don't think Miami can stay with Alabama's defense, and I know their defense can't handle Alabama's offense.
And it's the depth. Alabama's just deep.
Alabama's just a better coached, better recruiting, better at everything than what Miami can do.
So, also, all those guys on the Miami sideline, when they start celebrating for a sack, and all of a sudden they get some big old gold chain or whatever, in general, I think they get themselves too hyped up. They get worn out by the fourth quarter. What do you think? Yeah,
They're going to be worn out by the end of the first quarter in that game.
Yeah.
Penn State or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Cheeks, come on, give it to
Going
me.
with Wisconsin.
I'm with Wisconsin also on that one.
I think they got more talent.
Yeah, definitely.
And the only other worth a crap game, in my opinion, and only because I hate the Florida State Seminoles, is that they're playing Notre Dame. Does Florida State stand a chance against Notre Dame?
I think they stand a chance, but I still pick Notre Dame to win.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely
I honestly don't know because Florida State just hasn't produced their traditional teams over the last 4 to 5 years.
It's been a
hard to
while,
say.
yeah. It's been a long time. It's actually sad in my book to see Florida State doing so bad because it's always nice at the end of the season for Florida to beat a ranked team.
Try being a Tennessee fan.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Well, how about being a Stanford fan? There's only one team this year whose entire 12-game college schedule is against Power 5 teams. Stanford.
Really?
All 12 games are against Power 5 schools. They have 9 in the Pac-12. Then they have K-State, Vanderbilt, and Notre Dame.
The good thing is
but it's
that
Vanderbilt.
It is Vanderbilt, but it's also Stanford. These are schools where you got to be really smart to get in, even if you're going to play football.
The doctors versus the doctors.
I would say that the Stanford people are probably 1 IQ point smarter than the Vanderbilt people, but not much, you know?
Right. I mean, this is gonna be there's gonna be talking geometry and physics in practice.
Go out 7 yards and make a minute square circle to the. I don't even know if that means anything, to be honest with you, if you're a scientist or listening.
I don't know either.
All right, so, Chief, North Carolina plays Virginia Tech. Does Virginia Tech have a chance of beating North Carolina?
Well, they have a chance. I mean, being honest, I think Virginia Tech's improved over last season, but I really think it's going to be North Carolina.
Okay, so let's move on to something.
And understand, Virginia Tech has 6 of their first 7 at home,
Yeah.
and 4 of their last 5 on the road. So this is going to be for Virginia Tech this season. This is going to be interesting to have your schedule so out of balance.
Does Clemson win the ACC hands down?
Yes.
Sadly, yes.
They are a cupcake division.
They
I mean,
are.
I hate to say it, but it's true. Check out the most recent Twitter or TikTok video I did, and you'll see what I mean.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting. I think North Carolina might have some chance of doing a little upset here and there, but still, it really will come down to the game that's played in Charlotte, right?
Yep. ACC, Duke. Duke does not even leave North Carolina until the 16th of October. They don't even leave North Carolina.
What are they playing? NC State,
They have 4 home games,
Wake Forest.
4 home. Then they have 1 in Charlotte and 1 in Chapel Hill.
Okay.
I'm surprised that Duke plays football.
They don't play football. They have scrimmages and they have scrimmages against other big name teams.
Got it.
You know, that's what they do. Okay. LSU.
LSU plays UCLA
So
at UCLA.
DC, does LSU have any chance of winning the West this season?
No.
Why?
Mainly because name 3 great players on LSU's football team right now. Name 3 great players. You can't do it.
No, but I'm not good with names. I can't remember my wife's name
Regardless,
sometimes.
I'm a huge sports fan. I can't name 3 great players on LSU's football team right now. LSU is not ready to win the West. They're not going to take the reins from Alabama, and they're definitely not going to be in the top 4 at the end of the year.
All right, do they beat UCLA? At the Rose Bowl.
I think they beat UCLA at the Rose Bowl.
Okay,
Mainly because Pac-12 doesn't hang well with the SEC, in my opinion.
so they have a quarterback that's coming back from last season that was okay last season, not great.
Was he even okay?
They have the entire line. So their offensive line, everyone's returning. So they're all veterans, right?
I feel like Hanger's trying to sell me on something here, the way he's looking
Yeah.
at me, the way he's saying
He
this.
said
I got the fire in my eyes, bro.
He is trying to sell me something about LSU doing something great this year.
Yeah.
So that's
There's going to be a TikTok about this after it's all said and done.
there might be. Check our TikTok and you'll be able to find us at Guys in the Bar Talking Sports.
So lineman returning, average quarterback returning.
Average quarterback is returning, but they also have several, like their defense is like 90% seniors or something like that. Like it's something insane.
So that's
Weren't they a part of a game last year that like each team scored like almost 70 points against each other? If I'm not
I
mistaken.
think so.
Was it the Mississippi or you?
Nobody could stop. I mean, just say nobody could stop each other, and LSU should have been able to stop that team. So
All I'm saying is that
so get your point across, Hanger.
I'm trying to sell you on this because I think that LSU is going to win the West.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to be in the top 4 at the end of the season.
The top 4 of the SEC.
The top 4 all the way.
You think LSU is going to be better than Texas A&M?
Hanger, what is there vodka in that beer?
They're going to win. They're going to win the SEC. They're going to win the SEC. Alabama is not ranked number. Sorry, Alabama's ranked 4th at the end of the season.
Did you sign him out of the hospital?
LSU is ranked 3rd at the end of the season. Oklahoma's ranked 2nd and Clemson's ranked 1st at the end of the season. And I went out on a limb with LSU, but I was looking at it,
I don't buy.
and I think that they got a chance.
All right.
I
So,
really do.
best road schedule in the SEC is Georgia.
Are you trying to change the subject on me?
Yes, really quickly.
That's a quick movement there.
Yeah.
I think he's afraid we're running out of time.
We are running out of time, so you did your top 4. Let's dive into everybody's top 4.
Top 4, go ahead, Chief.
Top 4.
At the end of the season, who's going to be ranked number 4?
Probably Clemson.
All right, 4. Who's ranked number 3?
Ohio State.
Ooh, wow, okay. Ranked number 2. Yeah, they're going to win the Big Ten. I don't know why I didn't put it in my mind, but hey, whatever. All right, number 2.
Ripper's not here, so I got to stand up and talk for him. Well, I got Alabama number 1. Number 2.
You gotta go with Oklahoma, man.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm not ready to go with Oklahoma.
Yes.
All right,
I'm torn on that being number 1.
Cheeks, who's it gonna be? Who's the top 4?
I think Clemson's 3. I don't agree they're 4. I think they're going to be 3. I think I'm going to.
Clemson 4?
No, Clemson's 3. I'm coming up with number 4. I'm stalling there.
Number 1.
Number 1. It's really torn. I picked Oklahoma to go with
Oklahoma.
So I think I'm going to stick with Oklahoma.
All right, and they're gonna be playing number 4, excuse me. So number 2, Oklahoma. Then we got
Let's go with Ohio State number 2.
number 3. You said
Clemson.
Clemson. Number 4. It's gotta be Alabama then.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Or
that.
LSU if you want to be on my side.
Well, as much as I want to kiss your ass, I'm going with that.
Oh, you said 2 curse words on my show.
I did.
You're a terrible person. G-Boogie.
Disclaimer.
G-Boogie, on the spot, who's your number 1 at the end of the season? Who's going to be in the top 4 for the playoff? Number 1, go.
I'm going to say Alabama.
Alabama, number 1. Number 2, who's it going to be? He's thinking.
Toss up between Ohio State and Clemson.
All right, so number 2 and number 3, they're Ohio State or Clemson. And number 4, who's it going to be? Carolina Gamecocks?
Yeah. The Rhode Island School of Design.
There you go! The Rhode Island School of Design. They're going to put together a football team really quick and do it, blow it out. Brookie DC, what's your top 4? And you got to be able to, I need you
It's fine.
I need you to be able to defend it because I'm going to take it to the house.
That's fine. Alabama 1. I'm going to say, because of schedule, Clemson 2.
Alabama 1, Clemson 2 because they got a cupcake schedule.
Cupcake schedule. I think 3 comes
When they get
down.
to the playoffs, they get knocked out.
I think 3 comes down to Oklahoma because they don't play anybody either.
Okay.
Aside from what Iowa State and Texas, that's pretty much what they've got there. So I'll give. And Oklahoma's a powerful team this year. So
They are good, yeah. They got
I'll
a
give
lot.
them 3. And I think 4. I mean, I tell you, 4 is a toss-up. Ohio State has a new quarterback, so I'm not confident in Ohio State. I really think you've got to consider.
Iowa.
I was going to say Iowa State and Texas A&M. You got to consider them.
Well, it can't be Iowa State because they're going to lose to Oklahoma.
But they could lose one game.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
No, Iowa State.
Oh, I know. Okay, that's fine.
I'm just saying.
I don't
those
think
teams.
that Big 12 gets 2 people in there from their conference. SEC is the only one that's dominant enough to get 2 teams
It's
in their
possible.
conference.
I think it all depends on how does Texas A&M fare and how does Georgia fare. I think both of those
Yeah,
teams.
nobody mentioned Georgia.
I think both of those.
yeah,
but,
you know what?
but we don't know what Georgia's
Are you
gonna
putting
do.
Georgia in your top 4, G Boogie?
I'll put the other 4.
And here's
I'll take down the Rhode Island School of Design, give it to Georgia.
Georgia has the best road schedule in the SEC. Their away games are Vanderbilt, Auburn, Tennessee. They're neutral against Florida and Jacksonville, obviously. So I just see.
You can't count out that Tennessee game at Neyland. I'll tell you why. Heupel, however you say his last name, our new coach, he averaged 44 points a game at UCF. You bet your bottom dollar that man's going to come in and try to score points. That's what we're going to try to do.
Not disagreeing. I'm just
Georgia
saying
could absolutely be in trouble in that situation.
they could be, but I'm just saying their overall road schedule is the
a little bit
easiest
easier.
in the
It's hard to
SEC
score
this
points
year.
when you're getting punched in the nose.
It may be hard to score points, but when you go
Just defense.
when you go to Tennessee and Georgia plays Tennessee, what, week 4? It's like week 4, week 5. It's right there at the beginning of the season. That's when Georgia's vulnerable. They're not great at the beginning of the year. They get better as the year goes, as we've seen.
Well, let's hope that they're not good enough by like late October, early November
Easy
to
Florida.
beat the Gators.
Easy Florida.
Sorry, I'm a Gators fan, bro. What do we expect, right?
You've already lost by putting LSU in your top 4. So
LSU top 4. Mark my words. This is Guys the Bar Talking Sports, and we are up. Woo, 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 woo. Everybody. Woo, woo, woo. All right.
I know what you're thinking. Man, that was an amazing show. You know what you do then? You subscribe to the show. By subscribing, you'll be able to hear the show next week and every show that we come out with from here on out. And then if you really like the show, the thing that you can do is you give it a 5-star rating and review. Whatever podcast you listen to, see if you can give it a 5-star rating and review. I know you can do it on Apple iTunes. And then you know what you do? You come on back next week to hear Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.